Welcome to the channel. In the realm of military technology, there are moments that alter the course of history, moments when a single innovation shifts the balance of power. But what if I told you that one of the most game-changing weapons in modern history was born out of sheer ingenuity and urgency, and its impact shocked the world? Today we're diving into the untold story of how the United States created a missile that not only changed the rules of warfare, but left adversaries reeling in disbelief. This is the story of a missile that redefined the future of combat, brought nations to the brink of fear, and set off a race for supremacy that continues to this day. It was the Cold War, a time of intense global tension. Nations raced to develop weapons capable of altering the balance of power, and none were more focused on innovation than the United States. In this climate of technological arms races, military engineers were tasked with developing a weapon that could strike at the heart of any adversary, fast and with precision. Enter the Minuteman missile, a weapon so advanced for its time that it left the world stunned, forever altering the concept of military power. The Minuteman missile was a game-changer, but it wasn't created overnight. It was born from the necessity to answer the growing threats of the Cold War, when the Soviet Union's missile capabilities were quickly advancing. By the late 1950s, the Soviet Union had successfully launched the world's first intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, a weapon capable of reaching U.S. soil with devastating force. The race was on, and the U.S. needed a response. The answer came in the form of the LGM-30 Minuteman A solid-field, ground-launched missile, capable of reaching targets over 6,000 miles away in a matter of minutes. Unlike earlier missiles that required hours of preparation, the Minuteman could be launched within minutes, making it the first truly instant weapon of its kind. Why was this such a game-changer? Because for the first time, the United States had a weapon that could be immediately deployed in response to a surprise attack. This was no longer a waiting game, this was deterrence on a whole new level. The Minuteman wasn't just fast, it was incredibly accurate. Powered by advanced guidance systems, it could hit pinpoint targets thousands of miles away. The missile's ability to be launched from hardened silos, protected by an intricate network of military infrastructure, made it nearly impossible for enemies to preemptively destroy. Imagine, the US could launch a retaliatory strike in mere moments, with no warning, from almost anywhere. This capability became a cornerstone of mutually assured destruction. The concept that if one nation launched a nuclear attack, the other would be able to retaliate almost instantly, ensuring total devastation for both sides. But there's an even more shocking truth behind the Minuteman missile. It wasn't just about building a faster, more powerful weapon, it was about revolutionizing military strategy itself. The missile's speed and accuracy ushered in a new era of strategic deterrence. Gone were the days when nations needed to amass vast numbers of bombers and navy ships to project their power. With the Minuteman, a single missile could render an entire military fleet obsolete. In many ways, the Minuteman missile made the concept of a nuclear war almost unthinkable. Because of its effectiveness and launch speed, it forced nations to reconsider their strategies for conflict, placing more emphasis on preventing escalation rather than engaging in traditional warfare. But here's the ultimate twist in this story. The Minuteman missile's shocking influence didn't stop with its creation. The very existence of this missile forced not just the Soviet Union, but every major power to rethink their own defense strategies. The arms race that followed was not just about matching missile for missile. It was about finding new ways to protect, defend, and outmaneuver in an increasingly volatile world. In a time when global tensions were at an all-time high, the Minuteman missile became a symbol of peace through strength. The very presence of these missiles, ready to be launched at a moment's notice, prevented all-out war by making the cost of conflict too high for anyone to bear. What's perhaps most shocking about the Minuteman missile is how quickly it became a cornerstone of U.S. military strategy. From its inception in the 1950s to its deployment in the early 1960s, it redefined the way the U.S. approached warfare and global security. The Minuteman changed not just the future of warfare, but also the psyche of nations, creating an environment where diplomacy was the preferred option, not because it was ideal, but because the consequences of nuclear conflict were too dire to ignore. In the end, the Minuteman missile didn't just shock the world, it reshaped it. Its creation marked a shift in how power was measured, how nations interacted, and how wars would be fought, or more accurately, how wars would be avoided. The threat of instantaneous retaliation created a delicate peace, built not on trust, but on the terrifying certainty that no one could afford to make the first move. Today, the legacy of the Minuteman missile lives on, a reminder of how a single technological advancement can change everything, and how the decisions made during times of intense global tension can have a lasting impact on the future of humanity.